Nice to see you all. Okay, let's just settle into our meditation posture. So, and try and bring your mind to the same place your body is. And Christmas has already started at our house. So we have people here. So there may be a little bit more ambient noise than there has been in the past. So just remembering however it is you're showing up this evening, it's perfectly fine. So check your body position. So feet flat on the floor, knees maybe hips width apart, sits bones slightly raised, hands in the meditation mudra. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. And just imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just imagine someone is very gently lengthening your spine. So just imagine this, putting some space in between the vertebrae. Just imagine all those muscles along the back of the spine are just lengthening. Imagine someone has you by the ears, very gently lengthening your neck and then gliding your head backwards in line with your shoulders. Head is slightly tipped forward, eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. The tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and relax the jaw. Just imagine the tongue is resting on the roof of the mouth. Relax the jaw, bring the mind to the crown of the head, and relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks. Allow the jaw to relax. And bring your attention to the back of the head. Release any tension there. And relax the back of the neck, the shoulders. Allow the shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, the belly, limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And bring the mind to the breath. And just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. If there are any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. So try not to have the mind wander off and investigate. Just keep the mind, bringing the mind back to the breath. Noticing the sensation of the air that you're breathing in and out. So just notice what thoughts are arising in the mind right now. Is the weekend that's up and coming? Are you going to be traveling? Are you busy? Are you going to be home resting? Will there be lots of people in your house? Are you looking forward to seeing loved ones? Maybe not looking forward to seeing loved ones, or not so loved ones. Whatever it is going on in your mind, try not to judge it or have opinions about it. Just allow the thoughts to arise and to flow on. We can just put ourselves on the bank of our river and just remember But while we're sitting on the bank of that river, we are free. So let's just bring to mind all the people of our life. People that you love very, very dearly. And those people that you are in functional, happy relationships with. And then there's those people in your life who are so difficult. And then there's those people in your life who you don't really care about. They're strangers. You don't really think about what's going on for them today. You don't worry about whether they're depressed or anxious. It doesn't really matter to you. But it's always good to remember, as I try and remind us every night, these groups of people could change place at any time. And then think also it's important to remember to think equally about them. That they're all equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering. And they have this incredible capacity for this enlightened mind. So let's bring to all these people to our mind and think that we're going to do this meditation for all these people of our life. And I'm just going to put myself on mute. I'm going to run upstairs and ask our people to keep it down because it's a little bit distracting. Hang on, I'll be back in a tick. So just meditate, people. Focus on the breath and try and think of something that you want to work on this evening. Okay, I got that sorted out. So sorry, everyone. Okay. So just bringing the mind back to the breath. I think that we're going to do this purification this evening for all these people of our life and by extension, all sentient beings. And as we were thinking last night, for all the people who are maybe on the street right now, in those really freezing conditions. And let's make strong prayers that there is actually nobody trying to sleep out in those conditions tonight. So just remembering we are doing this purification process, and remember there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind so we can equally change it by creating positivity with our mind. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. So the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So given that we understand all about suffering and we can't bear the thought of any more of it, logically it makes sense. We will pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret our delusions, our attachment, our anger, and all the rest are the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech. And think, I'm sick of this suffering, and then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. So not asking Vajrasattva to forgive us, we're not seeing this person as a higher power that we want to sort of take our suffering away. We're going to do the work ourselves. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. So you can also imagine this is if you have a teacher, somebody or a trusted mentor, spiritual guide, manifesting in this form for your benefit. So you can imagine he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white cushion, a lotus. Although born out of mud, this lotus is untainted by that mud, just like your enlightened potential. Born out of your delusions, but yet untainted by them. And here's this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long, shaped like lotus petals, and peaceful, and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. There's a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell, which represents wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So here we want to develop this idea of compassion. So actually, in order to do that, we need to rely upon other sentient beings. So first of all, the beings we have harmed. So bring someone to mind that you've maybe harmed recently, and just develop a wish in your heart for them to be free from suffering. That's all compassion is. And then think of someone who's harmed you. And maybe this is a little bit more difficult, but because of the harm they've caused you, they will experience some level of suffering in the future, and maybe at a really inconvenient time. You never know when. So just develop a sense of compassion for them because of that. So you make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the power of the remedy. So this is the medicine, doing this practice of purification. So we start with the body. So imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, very forcefully, like coming out of a hose or a waterfall or a fountain, from his heart, and it arcs around and it pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it pours into you until it forces out of all of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body, in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajama Memutta Vajabala Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa supokaya mibawa anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa supokaya mibawa anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa supokaya mibawa anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. So be delighted that any harm you've done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. And just imagine there is no way you could do anything to benefit others now with the body. So the next is a purification of speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and quite forcefully enters your body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine that all the gossip, the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all of this is completely purified by this powerful nectar filling you and overflowing as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa supokaya mibawa anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa supokaya mibawa anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa supokaya mibawa anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa supokaya mibawa anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa supokaya mibawa anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa supokaya mibawa anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa supokaya mibawa anarakta mibawa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. And now feel so happy that your speech is completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And the next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful light from his heart chakra, and this sort of arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light. That light instantly dispels the darkness in the room, doesn't it? So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all the attachment and neediness and anger and depression and resentment and jealousy and bitterness and grudges, all of this stuff completely dispelled as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Matsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And then think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva again sends light and fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind stream as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta me boa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra me mutta vajra bala mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida me boa sutokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Tira me boa sutokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida me boa sutokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya satra aham pe. So now feel completely delighted that you're completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. So even the subtlest imprints of your kind of like your blocks to enlightenment, your obscurations have been removed. So next is the power of resolve. And again, we have all these habits, we're human. And so we do constantly make all these mistakes over and over again that are harmful to ourselves and others. So we got to make a determination at some point. We have to make a decision. It's a bit like we can't have regret if we don't think that we're going to do anything about it. So we make a determination. We have an aspiration to not harm. And it can become a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So think of something that you want to work on between now and when we meet again tomorrow evening. Maybe it's something to do with your speech. Maybe it's some negative self-talk. Maybe you have a habit to talk to yourself really unkindly. And reflect on the words. Would you speak to a child that way? Maybe not. So maybe try and be kind to ourselves, not put ourselves down. It's kind of like a running commentary that goes through our minds. So if we can catch that, perhaps be kinder to ourselves and we can be kinder to others. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. Just kind of melts into you. Just feel that light in your body and think, my spiritual guides, body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. So next Rinpoche, recommends this little bit to think about emptiness. So we start by thinking in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand those teachings on emptiness, just place your mind there for a moment. So you think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own sight. You can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate any positive energy you've created during this purification to all those people of your life. Your loved ones, the ones you don't love that much, and the strangers. And may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. For Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. For Lama Zopa. Ho Tup Shu Chang Jin Jam Gon Galloway Tenzin Kyong Pelaway Kunza Dog Porze Chog sum kur we leg mon tu drum. Pa dag sog du je gong du jab ten shog. And for Lama Ursel Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds out of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindfully of a loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And because you share a beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Look, everybody. Who did we lose? We lost someone.
Hing.
Hing. Oh, Hing. What happened?
I don't know. I think.
Oh, okay. Maybe too much noise. All right. Lots of love, everybody. I'm sorry about all the distractions this evening. Take care. I will see some of you tomorrow morning. Okay. Thanks for hosting, Shayla. Okay.
Be
bye.
well, Venerable. Thank you.